the sellers to know where the market actually is, not where they think it is or where Zillow told them it was. If you think prices are gonna tank and there's gonna be a big foreclosure crisis, inventory is gonna be tight for the foreseeable future.
Hi everyone, good morning. So I am here at Desert Willow walking in, and today we are going to be discussing the forecast, the economic forecast through the California Desert Association of Realtors. And so we've got a lot of agents here, and so I'm hoping to gather a lot of information to share with you all, and I'm really excited to see what they're gonna say. We've got some top people here from all over, and it's gonna be packed full of information, so I am ready. Oh, there's my broker.
On the median price sale in California, the ripple effect of every single home sale is $247,000. Meaning, when you sold that house last week, the couple or the single, the family that bought it, went out and bought a washer and dryer or a dishwasher. And while they were at Lowe's buying the dishwasher and the refrigerator, the person that sold it to them made some commission or hourly wages from that and sold a bunch of others. And they went on and bought the truck they've been looking for. And the person they bought the truck from got a commission, and so on and so on. The economic ripple effect of every single real estate transaction is so huge. Real estate equals 16 to 17% of the GDP of our nation, of our county, of our city.
At this point, even with higher rates, we still have too many buyers and not enough listings, right? That's why prices are still going up. And I think lower rates is the thing that we need to really unlock a lot of the supply. Lawrence Yun, when I was in San Jose about a month ago, was saying divorce rates are actually gonna start falling. This is like part of his official, economic forecast, because all those people that hate their spouses still love their interest rate. That you do have a lot of folks at these very low rates, but you also have still like a threshold of people above 4 or 5% that don't need rates to come down that much to get them moving, right? If you're in a 2.65, which was the all-time low, and rates go up to 8.25, yeah, you're not moving, right? But if you're in a 5.5 and they go down to 6, then you're not really, penalized that much for moving. And I think even incremental reductions in these rates, which we are forecasting, will free up some of that inventory. And that's why last year will probably be the low point for sales. So it's a game of managing the expectation, I think, and just counseling the sellers to know where the market actually is, not where they think it is or where Zillow told them it was. If you think prices are gonna tank and there's gonna be a big foreclosure crisis, you're assuming there's going to be a big shift in the balance between supply and demand. And one of the arguments there is that, when the foreclosures happen, that's a flood of supply, and therefore prices go down. No one wants to foreclose on a house that they have a 3% mortgage on, right? And that's 2/3 of Californians out there right now. 6 months in a row where prices were going up, not down, right? So I know we're all hyper-focused on the impact of rates, on purchasing power and buyer demand and all that stuff, right? But if rates had totally killed off buyer demand and that was our biggest issue, you wouldn't see prices going up, right? You'd have sales plummeting and prices plummeting because nobody wants to buy. When sales are going down and prices are going up, that tells you it's a supply issue, right? 95% of homeowners in California have at least 20% home equity. 90% have at least 30% home equity. So even if John has to fire me later for the worst forecast in the world, it's not gonna result in foreclosures, because that worst case scenario equates to a 20% decline in prices. And that still leaves over 90% of people with home equity out there. And by the way, those people have 3% mortgages. So even if they don't have any skin in the game, it's a lot different than having a 5-1 option arm where the payment's going all over the map.
Well, that was packed full of information, and it's safe to say that the sky is not falling, at least not yet. And it's not predicted to, so can't wait to share all this information with you guys. For the most part, it's predicted that we're going to see prices increase, we're going to see inventory increase, and we're going to see more buyers in the market as we see the interest rates start to drop. Ultimately, what that all means is that we're going to be seeing a more normalized market. And honestly, I can tell you now that the market has been normalized, at least for us, for a couple months now. And what's happening in our market right now is, unfortunately, sellers just aren't getting the point. Sellers no longer hold all the cards. Buyers have more negotiating abilities now, more so than they have in a while. There is always a however, and that however is based on inventory. The homes that are selling the fastest right now are the homes that are priced under market value. So if you want to sell your home and you want to sell it quick, please listen to your real estate agent. We know the local statistics. We know the comps for the area. We know the market. We know what's going on, the ins and the outs, especially with our market and the fact that it's so seasonal. So it's just really important that us agents as well are very educated, but it's also very important that sellers and listing agents work as a team to find the best listing price. We have two different types of sellers in today's market. We have sellers who need to sell, and we have sellers who are just trying to sell. The sellers who are trying to sell will look through several offers, probably not accept anything, and eventually the home will either expire or get canceled because the sellers want what they want for their price, right? They're setting their prices. And then you have sellers that are wanting to sell or needing to sell in order to maybe purchase another home. And those buyers are, of course, going to be a completely different position and a completely different mindset compared to the homeowners that are simply trying to sell. So they're more negotiable, more willing to negotiate on repairs, or willing to negotiate with regards to pricing. That's what we're seeing in our local housing market right now, is just the differences between the different types of sellers. And so one of my biggest questions that I ask when I'm representing a buyer, at least the question that I'm asking the listing agent is your seller wanting to sell, or are they just trying to sell? Because if we're just trying to sell, we don't have much negotiation on price. But when sellers are needing to sell, there's a different mindset and there's more wiggle room on price. So that's what I'm seeing here in the Valley. We are seeing inventory tick. I've got 4 or 5 listings at this point, and mid to late January, I'm starting to really see more requests for showings on my listings. And, but however, listings are still sitting on the market a little bit longer, because it's important that sellers see what's happening in the marketplace. And sometimes it's important for them to see it from the market and not from the agents. I'm just passing the Rowan, and as a local, someone who grew up here, it's not my favorite building. It's just really tall, and I just think it's an eyesore. We tried to go for the ultra modern type vibe, and I'm just like, I personally am just not a fan. And I'm right in front of the PS I love you. I am stopping to get coffee before I go to the showing. I figured, why not stop at downtown Palm Springs? So for those of you that know or don't know, I grew up out here. This is my old stomping ground. It's kind of weird to come out this way because it's changed so much since I was a kid. It's very different now. Palm Springs just become more popular. But back in the day, we used to come out here during Thursday nights when they have the festival, they have all the tents up, and it's like a street fair. But high schoolers, we would come out here on Thursdays and we would go to Ruby's Diner, which is no longer there. And we would sit outside, people watch, and we would have French fries and ranch. So those are some of my fondest memories of Palm Springs. It's just changed a lot, lots of new things. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just different from what I grew up with. This area has done very well for the local economy and local businesses, which is very cool as well. I'm just attached to the old Palm Springs, which the old Palm Springs could be probably considered a little bit of a ghost town, especially with that old mall that has like no longer here. But you can see Maryland right there. This building is a testament to the local economy in Palm Springs. This building right here on the corner of Indian Canyon and Tacos Canyon has been empty and vacant for years. It used to be a restaurant, and now I believe it is a restaurant, but also like a nightlife scene, which is awesome because this was a huge, just a massive eyesore. I wanted to do a Palm Springs driving tour like I did for Palm Desert, really diving into what it was like for me growing up out here as a kid because, Palm Springs is just so popular. People just want to know and they're curious. But I can tell you one thing, it was completely different. There was nothing for us kids out here. We had nothing to do. We were bored. We had the water park, but now that's closed. It's definitely a different city now. Wow, that pool looks amazing right now. Right now I'm at Club Condominium. So we're in North Palm Springs. Very nice mid-century modern condos built in like the 50s and 60s. And what's great about this community is it's small, it's quiet. You do own the land here, so it's not Indian lease land, and your HOA dues for a condo in Palm Springs are actually relatively low at $465 a month. And the prices here range because you could actually get a condo with your own private pool if you have the space in your patio to add it, which is what I'm seeing that's listed at $660,000. And then there's another one that's listed in the lower fours, so you've got a little bit of a wide range here.